Hi, today we're doing a video about how to save money.
Something that we should probably all be a little bit better at. Anyway, a few weeks ago we were approached by Leeds Building Society and asked to take part in their Savers Challenge. So I had a chat with Grace and she agreed to be their guinea pig.
I did.
So first of all, what I want to ask you, Grace, is how did it all start? I mean, did they help you?
Yes, Leeds Building Society asked something about my expenditure, and then they gave me hints on how I could start saving, and also hints and tips on willpower,
Yes.
which of course is equally important.
That's probably one of the hardest things, isn't it?
It is.
It's like anything, diets, whatever, it's willpower to stay on it. Okay, so this whole challenge for you started on the 18th of April. Can you tell me what your goal was?
So my goal was to have a nest egg. I think as people are living older now and, you know,
Living longer and
and I'm going to be in my mid-60s any minute now, and it kind of all comes home to you. You know, when you're young and life's, you know, stretched ahead of you and you just want to do exciting things. Now I'm starting to be a little bit more cautious and think I need to save some money for our old age, you know, to make sure we can still have an enjoyable life.
Yeah, and we're the baby boomer generation who weren't or aren't very good at saving. Anyway, so you started off, and the first thing that you presumably had to do was look at your spending habits.
I did.
Your current or your then current.
Okay, well, we say my spending habits, but I have got a gorgeous, very generous husband, but oh my God, he knows how to spend. I'm the more cautious one. I do all the accounts at home. And so I would constantly be saying things to him like, oh, darling, did you know, you've spent so much money on X, Y, and Z, normally his hobbies, and basically he'd sort of go, oh, well, you know, and that would be the end of it, and there would be no improvement. Then I hit upon a really clever idea. I did a pie chart, and it actually showed what big section of money he was spending, and it was a visual aid. And then suddenly he thought, oh my God, I am spending quite a lot of our whole income.
Yes, because I think, don't you think it's, if you tell somebody that they're spending X £100 or whatever on something, it isn't half so strong as saying, do you know you spend 37% of our income on your hobbies?
Yes. And so that has actually really helped. And now I notice that he's much more, I'm not saying he's cautious, but he's much, much better. He really thinks before he does things now. And he's got quite a lot of expensive hobbies, you know, just even going fishing, for example, can cost a lot of money for a few days.
So leading on from that, when you began at mid-April, did you have any apprehensions? You know, what was your biggest apprehension?
Yes, well, one of the things that we're both guilty of is we love entertaining, and that, as I'm sure everybody knows, can be so expensive, especially if you have like a dinner party for 8 or 10. It can be pretty hefty.
But did you think your life was going to be
Well, no, but so that's what
boring?
I was thinking. I thought it was going to be more boring because, you know, we wouldn't be having fun with our friends and we'd have to curtail everything. But actually, one of the tips I was given was when your girlfriends say, oh, can I bring a pudding or can I bring a starter? Instead of going, oh, no, just bring yourself, I'd actually say, oh, yes, please, that would be fantastic. So therefore, not only did I save myself money, but I also saved myself time and stress. So I was enjoying in actual fact, it was an overall good thing to do. It was lovely.
So basically, the most difficult thing that you found was the entertaining side.
I think so. And also, I would say to my husband, let's just have a one-pot supper and a whole load of, you know, decent plonk, but I'm talking about like £7 a bottle for some red, for example. And he has had, you know, he's been very good with that. So we don't have, you know, something to drink when people arrive. We don't have canapes. We don't have, necessarily have cheese and pudding. We'll perhaps have one or the other. So all those sort of hints and tips were really good.
But it is difficult, isn't it? Because as women, we want to be that perfect hostess, don't we? And do everything and still look glamorous and you know.
Do you know what? We still have it's the friends that you get round that are important.
That's
it doesn't matter you're having a shepherd's pie or instead of some glamorous 5-course meal. It's the friends and the talking.
Yes, that's what people go home and remember. They probably don't remember what you cooked. They probably remember that it was a nice meal, but it's the company.
Because you had a breakfast thing the other day, didn't you?
Exactly.
And you gave everyone breakfast and it was a huge success.
Because it's so difficult sometimes to get everyone together.
Yeah.
So just a quick breakfast thing. A couple of people wanted to come round, so I invited a couple more, and you know that was fun. Okay, so then let's talk about. Well, was there something easy, and if there was, what was the easiest thing?
Well, do you know something? I think the willpower tips were really helpful, and plus, the more that my husband and I thought about saving, the easier it became to save. So, for example, if I was clicking on, some lovely fashion website, instead of just thinking, oh, I'll have one of those and one of those, I think, well, actually, I don't really need both of them. Whereas before, I would have just clicked on both.
But would you say also that by doing this Savers Challenge for the Leeds Building Society, it's actually made you and your husband talk about your expenditure and your saving more?
Do you know, that is a really, really good point. Whereas before it seemed to be, in our family's case, on my shoulders. Now it's something that we share together, so it's easier for me. He understands why I'm saying, oh, let's cut back on X, Y or Z.
Yes.
And the end result is we've actually saved £400 over the last couple of months. And I'm really thrilled with that, because that's £400 that I definitely wouldn't have in our savings account, even though it's not earning much interest at the moment, but things may change. But at least it's there, and I feel really happy about that.
So overall, you would say to our viewers that the Leeds Building Society have produced a very good challenge for people, and it is there are helpful tips. And like with anything that you do in life where you're cutting back, whether it's a diet or you're going on starting it to exercise, the one thing that you need is encouragement, and that is there in their plan.
And to actually, having that help from the Leeds Building Society, I have to say, made it more of a positive challenge, not sort of a drudgery thing
not
to
not
do.
the wife being a bit of a nag. This was actually something sort of official, and it was properly prepared.
So in all, I'd say it's been a hugely positive exercise, and I'm really glad I did it. And not only that, I was supposed to do it for a month, but I'm actually going to carry on now.
Oh, good.
Yes. Good. Yeah. So I'll be all right in my old age, hopefully.
So have a read of the post, and because you will then see the guide from the Leeds Building Society and other little tips and things. Okay. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.